The impact the White Lotus had on pop culture is undeniable. It's important not to forget just how big of a role Jennifer Coolidge played in this, because it's so hard not to love her. Well, it turns out that she loved the experience of playing Tanya as much as we all did. In this video, we'll be telling you about her thoughts on her experience and why she should return next season. First off, her appreciation for Tanya's character arc. It's so hard to pick favorites from the 2 seasons with killer ensemble casts. Everyone did a fantastic job, but you gotta admit, Coolidge stood out like a shining star in both seasons. Not only did she connect the two, but she brought in so much drama, so much flavor that the actress herself was super happy with it. In an interview with Forbes, she talked about how much she loved working with Mike White and seeing him develop her role across the seasons. Let's be real, no one was expecting things to get so intense with her husband. All those little plot twists, all the conspiracies, and scheming, chef's kiss. She recalled a phone call the two of them had where White told her about what he was planning for the next chapter, which was Italy, of course. He told her that he wanted to take her relationship with Greg further and see how he could delve deep into it and connect it to the plot of season 2. That was a done deal, obviously. He then revealed that they were going to shoot it in Sicily, and that was just the cherry on top for her. Come on, it's not every day you get to shoot in Italy for months on end. It's the holiday destination. It's safe to say she was thrilled about all the decision making that went down. It was also super important that only she received a continuing arc. No other character did. That was very intentional. And she said she was delighted and super grateful to do another round. Up next, more about her Emmy acceptance speech. The icon has been trending like crazy on social media these days. There are tons of videos of her walking up to receive her Golden Globe with the gentlemanly help of Colin Farrell, which fans loved. Her red carpet interviews are a ball to watch, so she's the it girl. This isn't the first time she's been recognized for her work on The White Lotus though. Back in September of 2022, she won an Emmy for her performance, which is a huge feat for any actor. It was also her first Emmy ever, so you bet she must have replayed and practiced her speech for ages. Talking about that speech, it was unfortunately cut short. Forbes wondered if she'd more to say that she wasn't able to fit in, and lo and behold, she did. Jennifer was happy they asked her that, which is so sweet. There's nothing better than a good quality interview, right? She said she wanted to thank so many people to the point where the speech would have gone on for an hour and a half. The last person she wanted to thank though was Mike White. You always notice whose name appears at the end of a monologue, and for her, it would be Mike's. The actress went on to say that she'd love to be given the chance to talk about him in detail one day. The man changed her life in her very own words. Not only that, but he did it in the blink of an eye. You can tell The White Lotus left a mark on her, and a good one at that. Coming up, her thoughts on her speech being cut short. Let's not forget how it was unfair that she got cut short, y'all. When the interviewer broke up the fact that she got played off in a very funny way, she laughed and made a joke about it. In classic Jen Coolidge fashion, of course. For those who don't know, they played an instrumental version of Hit the Road Jack while she was talking on stage, and that was a sign that she needed to cut to the chase and get off. It's not the most dignified of send-offs, but it sure was hilarious in the moment. At that, she giggled and said that she was gonna get revenge. How could they do that to her on her big night, right? Oh well, it was all in good fun. But hey, she did also describe the revenge as having her own Carrie moment. Maybe next time she can fulfill the fantasy. Speaking of next time, another Emmy nomination seems to be on the horizon for her stellar work in season 2. Fans are on board for it. Almost everyone agrees that she killed it and deserves that award. The way she bodied her role has to go down in history, you guys. Following up, her reflection on Tanya's troubled arc. Tanya McCoy. Love her or hate her, you can't deny she brought the heat. Jen talked about how Mike told her that the Italy chapter was going to be way wilder than Hawaii, and how he called it a roller coaster ride. He warned her about it while he was working on it, and it's pretty obvious that she enjoyed every second of it. She agreed with him. For her, the entire experience was a ride of a lifetime, and had nothing but praise for her character. According to her, Tanya was super complicated complicated and tortured. That's true because some of her scenes were just painful to even watch, not to mention just how crazy she was as a person. That being said, Coolidge did say that you can see her evolve by the end of it. After all, she is very narcissistic and self-obsessed. She described it as seeing someone do their best despite all their numerous limitations. Even the smallest little detail can be big for someone as damaged as that. It looks like she delved deep into her character and put the work in. That's a mark of a good actor if we ever saw one. She even signed off by getting the last word. Judging by the finale, you'd think Tanya didn't get to have one, but Jen did. She told Forbes that she'd tell Greg that he has made a terrible mistake. You gotta love Coolidge, man. Now, let's look at why her character should return in season 3. Firstly, let's talk about that ending. You gotta acknowledge the fact that Tanya was killed off, right? That too, in the goofiest way. That being said, this is television. There are tons of ways you can bring a character back from the dead, and many more reasons why this one should. More on that in a bit. The cast was killer, but Jennifer was just special. There she is, the traditional archetype of a rich white woman who is utterly done and depressed with her life. She became a fan favorite, but then she had to exit the show because Tanya fell off of a boat and drowned trying to escape her murder. Mike White explained why he wrote it like that. If you think back to season 1, she said that she had experienced everything in her life but death. He decided to pick up on that and give her an operatic ending because she's such a diva and larger than life. Of course, he clarified that he didn't want to kill her and he loves Jen to death. It just fits with his vision. Sure, that's one way to say it. There are a lot of other details to her story, and there are a lot of reasons why they'd be explored. Up next, all her difficult relationships. A person's past is what makes them who they are, right? That's very true for McCoy, who never could catch a break when it came to relationships. First of all, her parents. In both seasons, she recalled her difficult relationship with her father, who seemed cold and distant. He never showed interest in her daughter. Tanya was raised by distant parents, who were most likely preoccupied with their social image and keeping up their insane wealth. This affected the rest of her decisions, including the way she'd take vacations to try to gain attention. We all remember that scene where she was scattering her mom's ashes. It was tough to forget, to be honest. Including her parents in season 3 would be an excellent addition to the White Lotus. It would bring a fresh perspective on the details of how the super wealthy deal with their kids and how they respond. They explored this previously, so it would be cool to see how Tanya's parents treated her in detail. What's more, a flashback season would be really fun. Seeing it go back in time and set the scene in the 60s or 70s during a family vacation would keep things new and interesting for the audience. Other side characters from her parents' social circles would also bring in some drama. Pair that with the dark humor of her tragic and hilarious demise and you've got a hit. And now, exploring her trauma. It's a constant for her. She could easily make a comeback if they explore the traumatic events that led up to the Hawaii vacation. We never knew why she went there other than to lay her mom to rest. Knowing her, something big must have happened to bring on the decision. What if she even turned out to be a drastically different person before? Tanya could be full of life, a decisive and powerful female character surrounded by empowering friends instead of the gray, middle-aged woman who can't make a decision. She could have been very mature and not as self-obsessed as we saw her before. Just imagine that. It would give her more depth and allow for some insane adventures. To make things even spicier, her fortune could come from owning the White Lotus itself. That or anything else regarding another character in season 2. That would create a connection and make a return for them likely too. Two birds with one stone. That being said, we don't know how likely a comeback is. In case it doesn't happen, it would be best to keep her alive in spirit with a lot of references to her character, maybe even a running joke. That's all for this video, folks. What do you think of Jennifer Coolidge's reflection on her White Lotus experience? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next video.